돈은 많이 못 벌어.
What if I told you there's a place in Seoul with a blind and visually impaired fortune teller village? Like for real, there is one. And I only found out recently, and it's here in Dongseong-dong, Seongbuk-gu. I will check it out today. Let's go.
Dongseong-dong is split into 5 areas: Il, I, Samsa and Oga. And at first glance, it feels pretty residential. Still, you will spot surprises like this striking church right next to Seongbuk Stream.
It is one of my favorite street, guys. It's the street that leads up to Seongshin Women's University. In spring, as you can imagine, you can walk here with beautiful cherry blossom. Write it down, remember it, I come back here in spring.
But once you head over to Hanado Rodeo Street, the vibe flips completely. Thanks to nearby Seongshin Women's University, these streets buzz with energy, especially in the weekends at night, packed with food, drinks and romance. It's basically like a mini Hongdae or Sinchon. And while cycling toward the fortune tellers, I noticed something unexpected on the map: the old atelier of sculptor Kwon Jin-gyu. To be honest, I was surprised to find it not only tucked away, but also in a pretty unwelcoming state. I usually love finding these unexpected historical spots, but not sure if this one is still open to public. If so, the alley seems to tell me otherwise.
Jeez, talking about the definition of being tucked away. A revered sculptor, Kwon Jin-gyu, but looking around the house like everything is overgrown. Few buildings or villas here are abandoned, so I have a feeling that it's not so active anymore. Look at this. Jesus. So Dongseong-dong is really like, you know, neighborhoods like Hongdae, Sinchon near Yonsei University and other university areas, but just on a smaller scale. Around that particular area, it's so quiet suddenly. It is a neighborhood with two faces. On the one hand, super residential, and on the other hand, young people flock in at night to have a good time. But then right around the corner from all of that, that's where the visually impaired, the blind fortune tellers are. If you go to neighbor maps and you try to street view that particular alley where the fortune tellers are, it's impossible to have a look. This is it, guys. The blind fortune teller village. And we're here because I will meet the OG fortune teller. The first man who came to the area in the 1960s, and he's still operating his Saju shop. And I'm so happy that he wants to meet me. Not only for a small interview, but also to do the Saju stuff. I have no idea what it is. I've never really done it before. So here goes. It's so cool, so crazy a place like this exists.
As a European, I had never heard of Saju before coming to Korea. It means the 4 pillars of destiny, a traditional method that uses the year, month, day and hour of your birth to read your fate. And that's exactly what Ido-byung is about to do for me.
And then there's a little tunnel that can bring you from one side to the other. The fortune tellers can be found also on the other side, and that's where our OG fortune teller, Ido-byung, still operates. Let's check it out. People come here for all kinds of things. If they want to know when their baby will be born, or what day they should get married, or if politicians do well during the elections. And I remember, because I've been here before, I live nearby in Bomundong, there used to be a signboard here explaining what this fortune teller village is about, and the history and all of that. It's gone for some reason. Someone removed it. I don't know who, I don't know why, but it's unfortunate because it was quite interesting to read. It was all written in English and in Korean. This is his shop. Choron Cholhak Kamjongso, and his name is Ido-byung. I'm a little scared. 안녕하세요. 네, 안녕하세요. 저는 네덜란드에서 왔습니다.
네네.
네.
처음 뵙겠어요.
네, 반갑습니다. 한국어 조금 할 수 있어요.
네, 조금 해드리고.
네.
거기 앉아있어요.
네네네. Ooh, nice. Old school. Look at this guy's house. We have old telephones, we have CD player, we have a big TV, a DVD player, a vintage dream.
우리는 시각이 없거든. 눈을 잘 못 보거든. 이 점자로 해, 점자로.
네.
이거 점자로 이렇게 적어가지고
네.
이렇게 해.
Yes, this is the man himself, Ido-byung, a legendary visually impaired fortune teller who was the first to settle here at Myeori Hill back in 1966. At the time, rent was cheap since the area wasn't popular. But his reputation grew quickly, and as more customers came, so did other blind fortune tellers. Because of his fame, this place became a hub. And by the 1980s, there were more than 70 fortune tellers working here. Today, that number has dropped dramatically.
태어나자마자
네.
못 봤습니까?
백내장이
네.
3살 때 왔어요. 그때 우리 철원이 이북 있었거든, 북한. 그 북한 안과에 갔더니 어머니가 등에 업고서 안과에 갔더니 못 고친다, 여기선. 이제 수술 못한다. 그래가지고서 거기서 그냥 있다가 13살 때 11살에 피가 나왔거든. 여기를 이제 신갈로 저기 신갈 용인 밑에 그 신갈 있잖아요. 그 옆에 이제 수원 가는데 불러 나와서 가지고 13살 때 수술했어. 그래서 조금 봐요. 강원도 철원.
네.
우리 고향인데 옛날 할아버지 때부터 13대 할아버지 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 예? 그거 13 할아버지부터 그랜드부터 사신 거예요. 세종대왕님 자손이야 우리가. 세종대왕님이 눈이 나빴었거든. 글로 내려왔나 봐 이게 내가.
아이고 세정. 근데 여기 어떤 고객님 많이 와요?
어떤 고객님?
네.
여러 고객님 많이 오지. 내가 좋은 신랑을 만날까, 또 좋은 여자를 만날까 그런 거 보러 오지 다. 그리고 또
중요해요.
며칠 날 결혼식을 해 좋냐 이런 거 다 보러 오고.
재밌어요. 근데 다른 종교 있는 사람도 많이 와요.
다른 종교도 있죠.
네.
이건 종교하고 상관이 없어.
네네네.
불교니,
네.
기독교니,
네.
천주교니 이런 것에서 많이 와요. 이거는 역학으로 보기 때문에 금목수와 더 오행으로 보기 때문에 이건 상관없어.
근데 여기 근처에
네.
가게 많이 없어졌어요. 그렇죠?
많이 없어졌어요. 그것
네.
우리가 살면 다 끝이 있는 거야.
몇 개 가게 남아 있어요. 그렇죠?
몇 사람 한 대사람 있죠. 다섯.
아이고.
I was glad to learn that the blind fortune teller's village is now listed as one of Seoul's future heritage sites. But this place holds more than one story. Long before the fortune tellers, the hill was a mass graveyard, and many people also died here defending Seoul at the start of the Korean War. As for the fortune tellers themselves, they are part of a much older tradition. In Korean lore, blind men were believed to have special intuition, and fortune telling became a way to make a living when other options were limited. In fact, the first record of a blind diviner goes all the way back to the Goryeo dynasty, during the reign of King Wonjong in the 13th century.
근데 옛날에 거기 여기 입구 앞에 간판이 있었어요.
네.
없어졌어요 갑자기.
지금 없어졌어요.
네.
네.
왜요? 왜 갑자기 없어졌죠?
구청에서 해놨었는데 기독교 분들이 예?
네.
없애라 그래서 없앴어. 그래도 찾아오는 사람 찾아오니까 뭐 다 봐요. 92년생이라고?
네.
양력하고 음력하고 같이 가네. 6월 3일. 종진년의 이민. 정미의 이민 을사. 경술일이네. 개날이야 개날. 난날이. 사주는 잘 탔네. 금목수화토가 그대로 구존돼 있으니까. 돈은 많이 못 벌어. 그러니까
People, you can give me super thanks now.
공부를 해가지고 지도자가 돼야 돼. 밑에 제자들 많이 가르치고 그래야 돼. 이 나라 저 나라 많이 다니셨네 뭐. 마음이 남을 도와주는 마음이지 남이 거 뺏을 욕심은 없어. 이 경술이니까 경이 금이거든. 경금이 철로나 이 새야 강원새. 새가 돼서 중심이 꿋꿋해. 애기를 낳으면
네.
처다들을 낳을 거야.
좋아요.
여기저기 다니면서 촬영해가지고
네.
그걸 책자로 만들어서 쭉 봐요. 그럼 내가 어느 때 어디 갔었다. 몇 년도에 여기 왔었다. 에?
네.
몇 년도에 저기 갔다 이렇게 하잖아.
네.
그러니까 그런 걸 하면 괜찮아.
언제까지 이런 일 하고 싶습니까?
말할 수 있는 데까지 하지. 모르는 사람을 가르쳐줘야 되거든.
네.
난 그게 일이야. 모르는 사람 가르쳐주는 게.
근데 선생님 너무 유명해요.
유명.
네네네.
진짜.
레전드. 네, 감사합니다. 진짜 네 반갑습니다.
안녕히 가세요.
네, 네 건강하세요. 다음에 또 뵙겠습니다. So here on the signboards, you can see what you can do inside the shops. 사주, 정년, 신주, 재수, 궁합, 병점, 해몽, and 취직. I think what you have to do is just go inside or call the number. They usually write a phone number on the signboard and ask for a session.
It was really special to experience something that's part of an old Korean tradition, and a little sad to see it slowly fading in this area. As I walked around, I noticed shop signs showing they welcome guide dogs, an initiative from the Seongbuk Welfare Center for the Blind. They're supporting this small community, and that made me happy. Coming from a small town in the Netherlands, where a national organization supports and educates blind and visually impaired people, it felt like home for a moment. So Dongseong-dong, without a doubt, goes on the map as the blind fortune teller's village. Thank you for watching. Welcome to my dong. Howdo.
노래 듣지?
네?
노래 들어.
어떤 노래 좋아하세요?
아이 우리나라 노래 좋아하지. 뭐 컴퓨터를 이거 듣고.
네, 옛날 노래.
그렇죠, 그렇죠.
네.
이 말하는 컴퓨터거든 이게 말이 나오거든.
네.
이 키면 말이 나와.